Are you packing for your European summer trip? Don't forget to throw in a raincoat and a shield. No, it's not raining in Europe yet, but there is a war on tourists, it seems, and locals are showering fury and water at foreigners. Let me show you what's happening in Barcelona. Yes, it is #disastrous. Locals have their water guns out. So where do you go? The protests are not limited to Barcelona. Locals have been demonstrating in Canary Islands and Mallorca as well. And where does this leave your European summer? Where does this leave your bookings, the tickets that burnt a hole in your pocket, the dream you've been eagerly waiting to live? Drenches in the locals' ire. What gives? A record 85 million people visited Spain in 2023. In the first quarter of 2024, 16.1 million people visited Spain. This was a year-on-year increase of 18%. What's more, foreign tourist spending grew by 27% in the first quarter from a year earlier. Tourists splurged on food, designer clothes, they swiped credit cards at museums and hotels. Shouldn't all these tourism dollars make Spaniards happy? Tourism has been a big boost for the Spanish economy. In the year 2023, tourism accounted for 71% of real growth in Spanish economy. Consumption by non-residents accounted for nearly a third of Spain's 2.5% growth in 2023. Tourism has also been a blessing for the job sector. In the first quarter of this year, tourism created over 197,000 more jobs as compared to the same period last year. This is as per various sources cited by Reuters. Let's talk specifically about Barcelona now. Some 26 million visitors spent at least one night in Barcelona in 2023. And how much did they spend? Some $13.8 billion. So why are the locals angry? Those living in Barcelona say tourists are putting pressure on public services. And what's more, the locals are not being able to reap the benefits of the tourism profits. They also point at rising rents due to rising demand for short-term leases. So what's next? Protesters in Barcelona are demanding tourism degrowth. They have come up with a 13-point proposal. This includes regulating tourist accommodation, closing cruise ship terminals, and putting an end to public spending on tourism promotion. Authorities have no choice but to listen. Barcelona's mayor has announced increasing the nightly tourist tax and limiting the number of cruise ship passengers. There is more bad news for Globetrotters. By 2028, Barcelona will be scrapping short-term rental licenses for over 10,000 apartments. This is not a happy situation for those looking to travel to Europe. But let's turn the table. How would you feel if every time you stepped out of your house, you were met with a crowd, if there were thousands of selfie takers blocking your sidewalks? If there were tourists crowding your metros and buses and delaying your daily commute to work? How would you feel if your neighborhood cafe suddenly started charging more for that cup of latte because that barista has to now cater to more than average footfall? Say you decide to buy a house in an area you've been eyeing for a while, but the agent tells you that the property prices have shot up because the wealthy are picking up more houses and turning them into Airbnbs. Locals in Barcelona say rents have gone up 68% in the last 10 years, and the cost of buying a house has increased 38%. What role has tourism played here? We don't know. But what we can tell you is that today people are traveling more than ever before. From Barcelona to Bali to Botswana, Buenos Aires, places around the world are recording a surge in tourism. The Wuhan virus pandemic has given people a bitter reality check. Today, people are asking themselves, how much sense does it really make to to keep traveling for post-retirement years. What if one does not even make it to retirement? But where does this spirit of Carpe Diem leave tourist destinations? A town in Japan was forced to erect an 8-foot wall to ward off selfie-loving tourists. Kyoto has been forced to ban tourists from parts of Gisha district. Why is that? Because of bad behavior. Ibiza has slapped a restriction on alcohol in order to tame badly behaved tourists. Venice has implemented tourist fees for day trippers. Bali has announced a new tourism levy. And Barcelona is asking tourists to go back home. Could this message have been delivered better and delivered at the right address? Yes. Harassing tourists, villainizing travelers is not the solution to over-tourism. These are people who have come to your country with a lot of expectations. They have saved for months, even years perhaps. They do not deserve to be met with water guns. Their families do not deserve to have items thrown at them. Over-tourism is a policy failure. It is a failure of those responsible for stamping the tourism passes. It is not a crime committed by the tourists. So there is no need to hold up that water gun on a tourist. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.